Okay, so I'm getting ready to do a reload of 45 Colt plus P ammunition. I'll be using these Hornady XTP, and it has a recommended muzzle velocity in the range of 700 to 1500 feet per second. That recommended muzzle velocity, I think, has got mostly to do with you know, the ability of the bullet to expand, and that's the bullet right there. I think you can see that. Anyway, jacketed hollow point. And so I've got a couple of things I'm going to do here. One, I've got some old 231 powder. I want to use that up so I can, you know, get rid of it. They're in the manual, in the reloading manual that I'm using. It lists the 231 and it lists the 2400 as a suitable powder for these plus P loads, and I will be, you know, keeping within the recommendations of the book. I want to try and get about 1100 feet per second out of these plus P loads. So you know, whatever mixture I have to put into, you know, whatever 231 I have to put in, or 2400 I have to put in to get about 1100 feet per second, which is within the recommended, you know, charge limits for the plus P ammunition. I've got some, so that's a new bottle of 2400. This is some 10-year-old stuff. I'm going to do a bit of testing, make sure, and this is old powder, so this here, a steel can, I'm guessing that's 20-30 years old, but you know, the 231, and this 2400 here is a partial bottle, and that's at least 10 years old. So it shouldn't go off, but I'm going to do a bit of testing before I reload all my plus P ammunition. And the other thing I'm going to try is some of this Hodgkin 777 triple FG. I tried some of this the other day in the I was doing some black powder loading, and when I loaded it as I would load black powder, which is filling the case with this, it was getting velocities in the range of 1100 feet per second. So but that was with a lead unjacketed bullet. So I'm going to try some of this in the with the jacketed hollow point as well, and just see what I'm going to get with that. And so I was going to do a big load of black powder using this Hodgkin 777, but with the velocities I got when I was testing it, I'm afraid I may have too much pressure for, because I'm aiming to reload for cowboy action type stuff, you know, so a lower pressure, lower velocity load, but using black powder. And this may, I mean, I'm guessing that if this is getting in the vicinity of 1000 feet per second or 1100 feet per second, it's probably going to be too hot for me to use as my main reload. So I might have to look at something else for my black powder reloads. But anyway, a lot of testing to do. I'm going to reload up for each of these powders. I'm going to reload 5 cartridges using these jacketed hollow points, and go out and just check the velocities and see how close I got to that 1100 mark, and as well, you know, check that 777. So that's the project. I won't bore you with the reloading process again, because I've already done that in another video. I'll reload and I'll go out and test them. Okay, one of the things you need to watch out for when reloading 45 Colt is that you don't end up, you don't end up shooting 44 Magnum. This is a 44 Magnum cartridge that I acquired somewhere, probably picked up at the range or something. But I don't want that getting in my reloads. I don't want to, I don't want to shoot that from any of my 45 Colt guns, because there's a very good chance I'm going to damage the firearm. So I'm going to see if I can pull that right now. And this may not work, because a lot of these factory loads are very they got like a Loctite, I think, holding the bullet in. So this may not work with my standard bullet puller, but I will give it a go. Alright, I'm going to go outside and hit it. I'm hurting my bench. Okay, so I got that pulled. Where's the little container? There we go. Bullet and powder. And another thing you got to watch out for. Now I've purchased bullets, cartridges from reputable suppliers, and ended up having I've had 45 Colt cases end up in my I've had 44 Magnum cases end up in my reloads. I've also had 454 Casull cases end up in my 45 Colts. And that's when I purchased from reputable supplier. Now get rid of that. The 44 Magnum will actually, I can actually size this and actually reload it even with 45 Colt. Bloody roosters. Anyway, I can actually reload this like I would 45 Colt after I've sized it. However, the 44 Magnum case is, I think, thicker brass and a little bit smaller down on the base here. So although it'll work, you can actually put it in, fire rate. It's probably not a safe thing to do. And I'll show you this. I'm going to pop this primer out, put a new one in, and show you what a 44 Magnum. There's that. And I'm going to put another primer in it. So right there, I just neck sized, put a new primer in. And so that case, oh God, I don't know if you can see that, but it's neck sized down to there, and you can actually see the expansion of the case. And then it gets smaller. So I reload this and fire it, and it is actually going to expand out down here, and then the next time that I use this, it will be much better expanded, but it's still going to be shallow at the base. But anyway, that's one of the things you want to watch out for, and you probably don't want to do this. But anyway, that's the 44 Remington mag being reloaded to 45 Colt. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of powder in there, and probably just a lead ball, and hopefully get a 454 lead ball, and that should get me my expansion on the case without over pressurizing things. So anyway, that's another thing that I'll be playing with now. Alright, let me see if this is still so. When my oldest son was about 18, he wanted to go to the range, and I had to reload a lot of bullets if we were going to go to the range. And I said, sure. if you want to do some of the reloading, being 18, you know, he's allowed. If you want to do some of the reloading, and yeah, we'll go to the range the next day and you know, do some shooting. And so, yep, he sat down and he reloaded. However, when you're 18 and you've got smartphones and whatever else, you're not as focused on the job at hand. And so what happened is I ended up with some cartridges were they had no charge in them. Other cartridges had a double charge in them, which was kind of scary. And that's something that you with 45 Colt, it's very easy to do. You're very easy to put a double charge in. And so when I'm reloading, one, I don't trust anyone else to reload for me anymore. You can see, I'm just checking, you can see that. I don't trust anyone else to reload for me. I do each cartridge individually. So after I've, you know, I go through and I do a, you know, prime them all and whatever else. But then when I'm reloading, I do each cartridge individually, and I measure each powder charge. Measure and weigh each powder charge, and do it all individually. So let's turn on my handy dandy scale, and I use this trickler, and I trickle in. So once again, I'm working directly off the book, and so the loads that I'm going to do for the 45 Colt plus P are within the book's recommendations, and I recommend you do the same. I'm not going to tell you my loads, or you may see them on the screen, I'm not sure, but whatever, if you're reloading, make sure you you know, follow the book's recommendations. You did not want to overpressure these. The 45 Colt, although it's a very powerful cartridge, it's got thinner walls than the 44 Magnum, for example, or the 454 Casull. So you do not want to. And I have to change out my get into my bullet seating die. And once you've got these dies set, you just have to you know, you've got the Allen key Allen key locking grub screw there. Once I've got that set, I should just have to screw on and screw off, and it should be the exact height I need. Okay, there's one. May have to adjust that up a little bit. So, where's another one of these bullets? Oh, that's so close. That might be good, actually. All right. So, what I'm aiming for, once again, you want your cartridge overall length to be correct, or it's not going to work in your lever actions. But I'm also wanting the case to seat onto this rim around the bullet there. So, and it seems like it's done that, although it looks a little funny, but it seems like it's there. So, okay, I'll get these reloaded. Like I said, I'm going to do 5 231. I'm going to do 5 2400 old stuff, 2400 new stuff, and I'm going to do 5 with the 777 triple FG black powder replacement, and just see how it performs versus the smokeless powders. Okay, so what I've got to do now, I'm testing that 45 Colt plus P. First 5 will be 231, some very old 231, and then I'll have some old 2400, 2400, and then I've got the new 2400, and the final 5 shots will be 777 triple FG, and I just want to compare that black powder substitute versus the smokeless powders, see if I get close. Actually, very first shot I do is going to be that 44 Magnum, which has been at least neck sized to 45 Colt, and I'm going to this is actually what you call this is fire forming. So when I fire, I put a bit of 777 in there and a lead bullet, lead flat nose, 250 grain, and that should be plenty to expand out the case fully to 45 Colt size. So anyway, the very first shot I do is going to be that 44 Magnum, fire forming it to 45 Colt, which I really don't recommend because it can still leak past the rimmed area because it doesn't expand out fully. But anyway, I'm going to do that, and yeah, here we go. So the very first one I'm going to do is the 44 Magnum case that I'm fire forming up to, sorry, to 45 Colt size. Chronograph is on. Alright, aiming at the target. And I've got 930 feet per second. That's at the 44 Magnum case. The speed on that wasn't important, I just thought I'd record it anyway. Okay, switch out. And get out of the shots, and what I'm aiming for, what I hope to get, is about 1100 feet per second. So 1065. 1093, 1096. So that's actually pretty good with that 231. Bit of 1073. Okay, so the load I selected for that 1094. The load I selected for that is a good working load. Age is going to have much effect. However, this was in a container that went through a flood. I do not believe it got wet. Test it, and it's pretty close to what it should be. And then I will just use it as I'm doing all these loads. 1191. 5 is exactly the same powder, but it's the new stuff, the stuff I bought only a couple of months ago. So it should be about the same. The old and new 2400 is exactly the same measure. You get fairly consistent velocities, so I got no doubts about this old 1097 shot 4. Shot first. That's I just want to use that up and get it out of my stocks. So, and this last 5 shots is same bullet, a jacket hole point, 250 grain XTP, but I've loaded it with 777, triple FG. The reason I did that, I want to test. So I put it into a black powder cowboy action load, so sort of low pressures, lower velocities. Now I was going to use this 777, but when I was doing some testing the other day with the black goes 777, triple FG, 250 grain, jacket and point. Oh, misfire. Ah, that was that 44 Magnum. Alright, 1006. $9.49. 1023. 1006. 1013. Right. So yeah, that 777 triple FG, I think that just made my mind up. It's too much load. I mean, I can download it, put in fillers and stuff like that if I wanted to. But that's too much load for my cowboy action stuff. So anyway.